What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sanchez. Here I have King Gambler himself. Thank you for joining me, my man.
Sanchez, thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be able to talk today and hopefully get the excitement going with Mortal Kombat 1 happening right around the corner.
I came in late into Damascus during your guys' run with Mortal Kombat 11, but now that I'm here, the restart in a new era, a totally different game, new universe. I'm excited. I'm stoked to see what you guys bring to the table.
Well, you bring up it being a new era, and it definitely is a new timeline compared to the previous game that we had been playing for 4 years. I would say is Mortal Kombat 11, and it had its
Yep.
own timeline, and now we're having a new game, which we all thought was going to be Mortal Kombat 12. It's just going to pick up right off of Mortal Kombat 11, but instead it takes a whole different timeline. Liu Kang is the one controlling the universe. This
Yep.
time, there's not anyone else. He's like painting a different direction, I would say, to the whole entire story mode, trying to bring peace to everyone. And to see how this game has been shaping up with all the trailers of like gameplay, the trailers on a little bit of the story mode, seeing all of our fan favorite characters return, even characters we haven't seen in quite some time. I mean, this might be just a personal preference, but I think that this is the best Mortal Kombat roster at launch we have had in quite some time.
At launch. That don't even get me started on the pre-order characters that they have to offer us. Let me tell you, like those characters, that lineup in general already just takes my breath away. In my personal preference, probably my best iteration of Johnny Cage, like just the way they have him in this whole entire game, it's awesome.
I think the thing about Johnny Cage that's always made him real unique is his personality. It's really that, cocky, he's always had that personality to him that, makes him a fan favorite to the whole Mortal Kombat universe. I think this is really interesting about Johnny because what we are normally used to seeing with Johnny, whether he has his like green glow power up, he has his projectiles, it's like all that is now thrown out the window. And he is actually this like Hollywood movie star that has like unique fighting techniques. He doesn't have his green glow power up. He is just Johnny Cage, which makes him really unique how he is as a character, and it's starting to be displayed more and seen differently for Mortal Kombat 1.
I totally agree, man. Let's take a moment to kind of back out of the game and focus on the player.
Sure.
Tell me about yourself, man. Like, well, how'd you even get into the whole entire competitive scene of Mortal Kombat?
So I started in about 2015. It was Mortal Kombat X. I'll never forget what got me into the scene was watching an invitational tournament. It was called Fatal 8, and there
Mm-hmm.
was, players like Sonic Fox. There was uh what's it called? There was a fighting game legend, Ryan Hart. There was, Perfect Legend. There was all these great competitors that were just playing Mortal Kombat X early, and there was a tournament for it, and it was one of the most like it was a tournament for me that drew so much hype, and I had no idea that Mortal Kombat was even a competitive game. And whenever I saw that tournament, I was like, man, I really want to do this. I really want to compete for Mortal Kombat. I want to get in and potentially see if I can go head to head with some of the best players or fighting game greats and legends that there is, to offer. So I picked up Mortal Kombat X. I started to, discover and look around for tournaments, and that was what I felt was the way to test my skill. Now, I started off really, I would say, slow. I wasn't that great, which I think that's everyone. You're not
Oh
just
yeah,
supposed
yep,
to
yep.
be picking up the game and being great at it. There's definitely time and work that needs to go into it, and that's not only just fighting games. That's just life in general. If you want to be great at something, then you're gonna have to put the time into it. So fast forward, this is gonna be my fourth NetherRealm Studios game with Mortal Kombat 1. Been doing this going on 9 years since I started in 2015, and 2024 is right around the corner. So I've been doing this for 8 to 9 years. So you can say in fighting game terms, I'm getting old, which I'm only 24. So people don't like to hear me say
Ooh.
I'm getting old. But
No.
the knowledgement and experience that I've developed over time has definitely improved me as a player, and it's definitely taught me how to go about a lot of situations and even continuously grow as a player in the NRS scene.
It's the knowledge. It's the knowledge you come into the games with, or in this case, like stepping foot into a new game. For me, I've had my competitive years with Call of Duty, and I originally started competing with Gears of War. So those right there, I look at those, and to kind of leave a stamp on my resume, I started coaching and managing a challengers team, and then from there I transferred into esports inside the scene, and here I am as a marketer, graphic designer, video editor. So I've I've left a good mark on that. It feels like a new chapter for me. And with this game being it's a complete, I guess you can call it a reboot in itself.
Hmm.
You're reliving a different chapter with these same characters, and honestly the support that comes with that. How do you feel about like the people that supported you since day one all the way up till now? Is like, have you always been getting support, or is that something that like you weren't really getting as much in the beginning, and it's something that like they saw results and then they were supporting you?
Well,
How'd that go?
I think you mentioned this, and there's two different types of support I'd like to talk about, and the first one is it starts at home. I remember getting into being a competitive fighting game player, and my parents weren't 100% behind it. It was at the time, I think I was 15. I was still in high school. It was always, education. I was an athlete in high school. I played baseball. So being on the game so much, my parents didn't understand at the time. They really said, like, you're on that game all day. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's nothing to really come out of it. And so they didn't understand at the time. And fast forward a couple years, um, you know, high school ends for me, and my baseball career ended to where, hey, do you want to like play college? I was given the opportunity to play college baseball, and I looked at my parents and I said, this chapter is done for me. I said, I don't want to play anymore. Um, I think I made my mark as far as having that love for the game, and it's gotten me all this way, and I'm pretty sure it could get me farther. But I said, this is where it ends.
Mm.
I said, there is a new journey and a new passion, new path I would like to take, and it was gaming. So I chose gaming over baseball. And I sometimes get asked, like, do you regret that decision? And the answer is no. I have discovered and been to so many tournaments around the United States. I've even gone to Canada. I've experienced and had such a pleasure being in the fighting game scene. Not only that, but just the NRS scene. I've met so many terrific people that there is not a day I would trade that for. And as far as the other support, there were people who, taught me and brought me under their wing and have definitely brought me to be the player I am today. And, without them, I don't know if I would be the player I am today. Which, there is so many people. There's like a list I could mention as far as who has helped me to get here. But I acknowledge and I appreciate every one of them who did that for me. To take their time out of their day, to show me what does it take. What does it take to be a top player? What does it take to make these crucial decision making, the clutch moments? What does it take? And your mentality is really tested when you play fighting games as well. And that is, something to where me now being in the scene this long, I am starting to like you mentioned, a coach, some up and coming players. There's a lot of up and coming players. The scene has definitely been getting stronger and stronger over the years, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of players who get in and they want to now know what does it take. And since I was taught so much, now it's like I'm starting to, in a way, pass it down.
Mhm.
I want, any questions that anyone has. I'm like, hey, like, come ask me. If I know the answer or if I just have any sort of experience, I would love to be able to talk to you and tell you what does it take. Now, there's some moments where, they'll ask me a question. And I'm like, look, I personally just don't know because I don't have experience on this. But that's the benefit of being in the scene and being I would say I'm really respected around this whole community. I have a good heart. I love to help people. I love seeing people succeed and they come back and they tell me like, "Hey Gamber, what you taught me and what you told me, it has helped me improve and be the player I am today." And that just means so much because I got that from, myself in an early stage and a lot of people also, helping me get to this point, and now to be able to see like someone say or be able to like get it, it's like another like perspective is seen. And whenever they're like, it just like everything just makes sense, and when you teach it and whenever you explain it, it makes even more sense, and I'm starting to see it, and that just hits hard because it's almost like the student now becomes the teacher, and now
It
the
gets to a
teacher
point.
yeah, the
Yes, I
teacher is
totally get it.
now
Yep.
teaching his own students.
Gets to a point where it got to me as much as it got to you as well, or that it's at least getting to you because well, you're still playing. Uh, what's the thoughts of you? Like, is the does the idea or does the thought like come into your mind of anything having to do with retirement is like down the line, or is that something that right now you still see yourself cooking, you still see yourself at your prime, you still see yourself like, bro, I'm in this. Like, sure, 8 years on my belt, but bro, I got it in me. It's like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think, and that's another thing, because I've definitely thought about at times stepping away from the game, but doing that has also brought it out my greatest moments. As far as even if I were to walk away, it's like people are starting to say he's on his prime time. He's got so much left
Mm,
in him. I really would say that at the towards the end of Injustice 2 is whenever things started to click, and then Mortal Kombat 11. I didn't have the strongest start because I usually have this where I don't have the best start, and I'm looking to rewrite that for Mortal Kombat 1. And knowing how I was finishing Mortal Kombat 11, strong player, good accomplishments, whether that was online, whether that was offline, there was definitely, like, hey, like, is there more to, still fight for and still work for? And the answer is yes. There are still goals I have yet to accomplish. And getting to the player I am right now at this moment, I would definitely say this is about the prime I'm getting to. Um, there was a moment even in 2020 where I would even say like I was a strong player at the time, and one morning a difficult situation came my way. I developed carpal tunnel, and I developed carpal tunnel in my left hand, and I was out for 6 to 8 weeks out of action, out of the game, and it was probably some of the most hard time I had to experience because I was really starting to click and everything was starting to make sense.
gotta
I was
feel
really
yourself.
being,
Yes.
yeah, I was really starting to be, I would say a threat in bracket, and to be able to step away and then come back was the hardest part because there was all those players who were grinding at the time and I just fell completely behind. And I
Mm.
wondered, I was like, can I even win anymore? I said I'm struggling so bad. So my mentality was really tested at the moment. I really started to get back to work. I started to bust my ass. I started to give it my all again and to get back or even surpass what I was doing at that moment to get to the player I ended up finishing in Mortal Kombat 11 was huge. To be able to say I overcame a difficult mountain, or just get over that I guess struggle that I was developing at that moment, was really something I love to talk about, because everyone has, I'm sure that there was like a rough moment or a rough path that they had to overcome, and to be able to get past that means wonders. It means so much, and it's definitely such a unique story that I have to being a player that I love to share to people.
That's great. Honestly, like your story thus far is yet to conclude. The story so far is getting better and better. Another question I wanted to ask was, you said you've been in the game for about, if I'm not mistaken, 7 to 8 years?
About 8, next year will be ninth.
8, 9.
Yeah.
How far along in your years were you noticed by Damascus? That just recently?
It was just recently that, I think there was someone who had kept their eye or had seen me for quite a bit. Um and I think it was just recently though that Damascus, really started to like say like, hey, like, who's this guy? I was on a previous organization, so I was, I wasn't, I would I would say available, I guess, on the market for other teams to really like. They would look at me, but they wouldn't, couldn't talk to me because I was on another organization.
Yeah, they
But
couldn't. Yep.
yeah, Damascus, whenever I became a free agent early this year in 2023. I didn't have any intentions or any, I guess, to make a move right away as far as being on another organization. But Damascus, they reached out, and they were just great people, and they had such great plans and great goals that I wanted to be a part of. And I said, this is something I love to, Damascus hasn't been around for that long. They had only been around for, I would say, a year. And to see an up and coming organization have such a future and bright goals to their name, it was definitely
Yep.
something I want to be a part of, to say, like, hey, like this, from the ground up, is definitely just grown so much. And I can say that, I can happily say I was like a part of all of that.
Well, you just became a free agent in the right time and place, my guy.
Yeah, I guess you can
Tell
say, yeah,
you.
that's just, one door closed and another one opened, as far
Another
as
one's
an
opened. Like that's
opportunity, and being able to,
yep.
make, being able to make another organization proud. Definitely one thing that
That's the
I
way it
always,
goes. You're definitely repping Damascus. We've been seeing you in like every single event you've been recently going to, repping that jersey.
hmm
Repping that jersey.
and it's such a
Like
beautiful
it's
jersey. I love the colors. I love
it,
I
it,
love the
yeah.
red and black. It's such a beautiful
It,
jersey. I got complimented about the jersey whenever I was at Evo in Vegas. It was People loved it. It was something new because I was wearing a different colorway of a
mm,
jersey. And then I stood out at Evo, and people said, "Man, that jersey looks great." And people were even congratulating me. They said, "You're gonna do great, and you're still destined for great things. I know it. You're still young, even though I consider myself old. You're still
bro, we
young. You
consider.
got a lot more to still work for. You can do this," and that just definitely hits hard because I know I can do it.
And well, what's the one thing you look forward to coming into this year, coming into this game, other than the game itself? Clearly, what's something that like immediately comes into your head, a heartbeat, something you're eager, prepared for?
As far as this is a little bit out. This is still in the game, but it's a bit outside of the game. Is being able to, like I said, rewrite. I haven't been the greatest player in the very beginning. I've struggled so much. And back then, I was in college. I was in high school. I was working upon the release of the previous games. So now that this is my full-time job, being a content creator, being a competitor, it's like all focus that I didn't have before can actually be put in this game. It's a brand new game. It's a new journey. It's a new beginning. Everyone's gonna start at step one. Um, and I think I have a shot to be able to say I can put in as much time as I want, and it's going to be mentally exhausting. It's going to be really hard, especially how the competition is. It's going to be really hard, but I know that. I'm going to tell you right now that these last few days I've been mentally preparing myself for. It's not a sprint either. It's a marathon of testing your
Yep.
mentality, and that is definitely that's one thing I know being all this experience I have in the scene, that there are gonna be rough moments, there are gonna be rough times, and I acknowledge that. And it's how do you get past that? And people even tell me too, like, they get really hard on their mentality, and they said I don't know what to do, and I'm like, the objective and what you're supposed to do is keep going, knowing that you have a goal, knowing that you got the passion, it's there. It's how much of your work ethic are you really willing to put in to be able to accomplish that, so to say, goal that you have. I'll tell you right now that a goal I have for Mortal Kombat 1 that I have yet to accomplish is win a major. Win a major event, and that includes all the best out of the best around the world participating at one big event. That is one goal I've
Yep.
just wanted to accomplish, and that's still something that I guess lights the fire in me to say, like, hey, you haven't done this and you can do this. Just keep working. And that's what's
You have
keeping me
your eyes
going.
set on a specific major,
I do
or
not.
are you like are you just like willing, like, dude, any major at this point would like completely fill that check mark
Winning a major in the NRS scene is remarkable, if especially if you
in
got that.
itself?
Yeah,
Yes,
remarkable. The
yes,
biggest
I agree.
major that you could possibly win in the NRS scene is either the pro competition finale or Evo. Evo has always been looked at as the biggest
Mm,
and largest fighting game tournament of the year, and that's the one that
that
I
is
just came
facts.
back in Vegas. So that's always been looked at as the grandest stage, outside of, once again, the Pro Comp finale, which is another goal I have my eyes set on, as far as working towards. Hopefully, I haven't yet to uh, been in the Pro Comp finale, but once again, new game, new beginning, new journey. Well,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, me being in the scene so long, knowing all this stuff, and being a strong up and coming player, can really, I guess, make the opportunity more of a reality.
A little side question though. Mortal Kombat, on that grind, heart and soul dedicated to that game. What other game recently have you been playing? Nothing to do with Mortal Kombat. What's the one game that you've been working with on the side? What's that one game that when the king is not working, you can just simply go to the side, play
I
this game for fun?
I've never been one to explore or play other games, and I guess that sometimes makes me question: am I a real gamer? Because there have been so many great games I have been missing out throughout my gaming life. I would say during this time period where I had August off, getting as far as no competitions, outside of the game. I've been playing a lot of the FromSoft games, which have been Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3,
Ah,
Elden Ring. Those were games I missed out. I never got to play. I never even imagined I would play. Um, but being able to play those games, I'll tell you what, Sanchez, those games, going against those boss fights has really tested my mentality, because there had been
yep.
bosses I was on for hours. There was a recent boss on Elden Ring that took me 9.5 hours, and there were at times where, can I even do this? Like, I'm not gonna give up. So I constantly kept pushing
Nah,
and
Elden Ring's
pushing,
insane though.
and that has
Elden.
just really worked my mentality. A lot of stressful moments, a lot of hype moments, and I'll tell you what, that really brought the similarity of playing those games, defeating those bosses. It has brought a similarity of joy and excitement and stress, like how I play and compete for Mortal Kombat.
My friends are savages, bro. Like those these guys have been growing up from me since like elementary school to high school. They've been playing Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. And immediately when Elden Ring comes out, we all pre-ordered it. We all pre-ordered it same day. We all got it the same day. They finished it in a week. I have yet to finish that game. In fact, I bet you I'm not even halfway finishing that game. I looked at these guys and I'm just like, nah, you guys can take that dub. I'm fine, man. Like, nah, you guys are insane. I don't have any experience in Dark Souls 1, 2. I only played 3. Uh,
Great game.
I,
That is personally my
yeah,
favorite.
that is fact. So Dark Souls 3 is really, really, really good. In fact, probably in my personal opinion, like probably the most looked upon out of the Dark Souls series.
Mhm.
Like, it's just hot take from my end. Like, sure, I've seen gameplay of Dark Souls 1 and 2, but Dark Souls 3 looks nice. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Elden Ring comes out, and I'm just like, these goddamn visuals couldn't get any better.
It's like you
Like,
think
god damn. It
it's
makes
like
you think, like, holy shit, what more could these guys do?
that
So,
that's just the evolution of gaming. To see how much it's
yeah,
progressed, to see how much like it was started at one point here, and the Super Nintendo, the Atari. You just see the evolution of technology, which is a huge passion I have. I love being in technology, and
same, bro.
seeing how much it constantly grows. It's a huge impact in our lives today, compared to how it was, let's just say, like 30 years ago. It's definitely, and just to see it continuously grow, to see, how much everything progresses and, looks over time is definitely, it's like I was telling people, especially this year in particular, because there's so many great games coming out. It's a great time to be a gamer.
I always love talking to players like that not only have promising futures, but like that have, in a way, already left the trail. They're just waiting to like kind of like solidify it, you know?
Hmm.
Kind of like make it crystal clear. Like, hey, this was my journey. It's here embedded in concrete. It's in cement. Like that's what I've left behind. You still got something that you're pushing forward to, and I look forward to seeing you push to that limit.
I can't wait to just push past the limits and push past the, I would say, like the expectation that, I was once thinking like, hey, I just want to be able to compete against the best, and can I do it? And the answer is I'm proving I can. It didn't happen right away, but to see that I never gave up and to see that, I became a strong name in our interest scene, uh, it definitely makes me think like, why not me? Why? Who says I can't do it? And I think that's where I love to be able to, prove to people, why not KingGambler?
Exactly.
Why can't he do it?
Anybody, whoever says that your journey can either be put on pause or is just halted, no. Those people could sit back and enjoy the show. Because really, based off of what you've done so far, you put up some stellar performances, top placements. So it can only get better from here.
I agree. There's still more to prove for, and I can't wait to, be able to just prove I got more in me.
Before we end this, the note we are on, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, or is there anything you'd like to say before we conclude?
I want to, thank my mom and dad and, my whole entire family who have been by my side through the excitement and even the tears, because, it's definitely emotional to see, such things that you work hard for, and to be able to, have all the hard work pay off. It's definitely been such a remarkable thing being as a fighting game competitor, and to thank my mom and dad for, being there, pushing me, and telling me that I can do it makes me think, it makes me not want to give up on my dream. Um, there's so many players I could go on right now, but there's so many players also that I want to thank for being able to, just be right by my side and, be able to cheer for me, And it's always gonna be returned too. I'll never forget about those who were there and just pushed me to be great. And that's all I want for everyone too, is to be right there by their side and to push them to also be great. I might not be looked upon as uh, a strong threat to, I would say, some of these players, but with the new game, hopefully I'm able to change their mind, and hopefully I'm able to really make some noise with this next game coming.
Well, brother, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Talking to yours truly. I appreciate that. I really do. And I look forward to continuing to promote you as a player, as an individual, as a fellow member of Damascus Gaming. Thank you for your time, man.
Sanchez, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and speak. And hopefully this is more of an insight to get to know me a little bit better. And yeah, I'm really excited with to be once again a part of Damascus Gaming, and to hopefully create a legacy or be able to develop or help grow Damascus Gaming. I can't wait to see what is in store for the future.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and that wraps up today's interview with the one and only KingGambler. Everybody, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the Damascus Gaming YouTube page. We'll catch you next time with more interviews. Peace.
Bye.